Imagine a journey through time and space, a journey that takes you to the heart of an ancient land, steeped in history and culture, a land that has been the cradle of civilizations, religions, and conflicts. As we soar over this vast expanse, we zoom into the Middle East. The suspenseful music in the background heightens your senses as the world beneath you unfolds, revealing its intricate tapestry of nations, cultures, and histories. Suddenly, a question appears on the screen: what conflict has shaped the Middle East for over a century? The question hangs in the air, echoing in the silence as you ponder over it. The answer, while known to many, is understood by few. This conflict, with its roots deeply entrenched in the past, has shaped not only the Middle East, but has left its mark on the entire world. The screen fades to black, leaving you in anticipation. Stay tuned to find out. Welcome to Being Alive. Welcome to the Being Alive channel, your one-stop destination for the most thought-provoking, engaging, and informative content on the internet. Here we strive to bring to life the stories that left indelible marks on the fabric of human history, events that shaped our world, and issues that continue to influence our present and future. We delve into a broad range of topics, from the mysteries of ancient civilizations and the tumultuous events of the 20th century to the most pressing political and social issues of our time. Our mission is to foster understanding and spark conversations by presenting a balanced view of complex topics. Today, we are embarking on a journey to understand one of the most enduring and complex conflicts of our time, the Israel-Palestine conflict. So fasten your seatbelts as we take a deep dive into the roots of this conflict, its evolution over the years, and its implications on the global stage today. Remember, here at Being Alive, we believe in the power of knowledge to foster dialogue, understanding, and ultimately peace. Let's begin. Have you ever wondered how the Israel-Palestine conflict originated? To understand it, we must journey back to the late 19th and early 20th century, when the roots of this enduring conflict were planted. In the late 1800s, a nationalist movement known as Zionism began to flourish among Jews living in Europe. This movement, fueled by centuries of persecution and the dream of a Jewish homeland, advocated for the establishment of a Jewish state in the land of Israel, a place of significant historical and religious importance to the Jewish people. As we move into the early 20th century, the world stage was dominated by World War I. This global conflict had a profound impact on the Middle East, as the Ottoman Empire, which had controlled the region for centuries, was dismantled. The newly carved territories were placed under the administration of European powers, with Britain taking control of Palestine. The British Mandate of Palestine, as it came to be known, was marked by increasing tensions. On one hand, Britain had made a promise, known as the Balfour Declaration, to support the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. This promise led to a significant increase in Jewish immigration to the region. On the other hand, the Arab locals, who made up the majority of the population, felt increasingly threatened by the growing Jewish presence and their aspirations for statehood. These competing nationalisms, coupled with British administrative policies, stoked the embers of conflict, leading to sporadic violence and growing unrest. As the years rolled by, the tensions simmered, escalating into a pressure cooker situation. The hopes and fears, the dreams and anxieties of two peoples, both yearning for a homeland in the same piece of land, began to clash in ways that could no longer be contained. And so, the stage was set for a conflict that would shape the Middle East for the coming century. In 1948, a new nation was born, but its birth was far from peaceful. The State of Israel was declared on the 14th of May, following the decision by the United Nations General Assembly to partition the British Mandate of Palestine into two separate states, one Jewish and one Arab. This decision was celebrated by Jewish communities around the world, but it was met with fierce resistance from the Arab nations, leading to the onset of the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. This war, also known as the War of Independence by Israelis and the Nakba, or catastrophe by Palestinians, was a momentous event in the history of the region. It involved a coalition of Arab states, including Egypt, Jordan, Iraq, and Syria, against the newly formed State of Israel. The conflict was marked by intense fighting, strategic maneuvers, and a tragic displacement of populations. Palestinians remember the 1948 war as the Nakba, a term that translates to catastrophe in Arabic. During this time, an estimated 750,000 Palestinians were displaced from their homes, either fleeing the conflict or being forcibly expelled. This event marked the beginning of the Palestinian refugee crisis, a problem that continues to affect millions of people today. On the other hand, for the Jewish community, the creation of Israel represented a beacon of hope and a safe haven, especially in the wake of the atrocities of the Second World War. The victory in the 1948 war was seen as a triumph against all odds, solidifying the state's existence. However, the end of the war did not bring about peace in the region. The armistice agreements of 1949 established temporary borders known as the Green Line, but they failed to resolve the underlying disputes. The aftermath of the 1948 war left a deep and lasting impact on both Israelis and Palestinians. It shaped the landscape of the Middle East and set the stage for a conflict that continues to this day. The birth of Israel and the First Arab-Israeli War remain pivotal moments in the complex history of the Israel-Palestine conflict. The conflict didn't end in 1948, it was merely the beginning. Fast forward to 1956 and the Suez Crisis. An international dispute over control of the Suez Canal, a waterway of immense strategic and economic importance, led to a brief but intense conflict. Israel, allied with Britain and France, launched an attack on Egypt, marking a significant escalation in hostilities. Then, in 1967, we witnessed the Six-Day War, a conflict of such brevity yet intensity that it dramatically altered the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East. Israel launched a preemptive strike against Egypt, Jordan, and Syria, seizing control of the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, East Jerusalem, the Golan Heights, and the Sinai Peninsula. These territorial gains would become focal points of future conflicts and negotiations. In the autumn of 1973, the Yom Kippur War erupted. On the holiest day in the Jewish calendar, Egypt and Syria launched a coordinated attack on Israel, aiming to regain territories lost in the Six-Day War. The conflict ended with a ceasefire, but not before it had further entrenched animosity and mistrust. In the late 20th century, two significant uprisings, known as the Intifadas, occurred. The first, beginning in 1987, was characterized by civil disobedience and widespread protests, while the second, starting in 2000, saw an escalation into armed conflict. These uprisings profoundly affected both Israeli and Palestinian societies, exacerbating divisions and hardening attitudes on both sides. These key events, among many others, have contributed to a complex and volatile situation that has proved resistant to resolution. Attempts at peace, such as the Oslo Accords of the 1990s and the Camp David Summit in 2000, have been made, yet they have often fallen short of achieving lasting harmony. The struggle has been long, marked by periods of intense conflict and relative calm, with both sides bearing the heavy costs of war. It's a struggle that continues to shape the lives of Israelis and Palestinians, their hopes, dreams, and daily realities. Despite multiple attempts at peace, the situation remained volatile. Peace is a complex puzzle, especially in the case of Israel and Palestine. Our journey brings us to the late 20th century, a time when the world dared to hope for a resolution between Israel and Palestine. A significant milestone was the Oslo Accords, a set of agreements signed in the early 1990s. These accords initiated a peace process that aimed to end the ongoing conflict. They proposed the creation of a Palestinian interim self-government, the Palestinian National Authority, and the withdrawal of Israel from parts of the Gaza Strip and West Bank. Yet, the road to peace is seldom straight, and the Camp David Summit in the year 2000 exemplifies this. Assembled by then US President Bill Clinton, the summit was a high-stakes attempt to resolve the conflict once and for all. The Israeli Prime Minister and the chairman of the Palestinian Liberation Organization sat down to negotiate. Yet, despite the high hopes, the summit ended without an agreement, a stark reminder that peace is an intricate puzzle with many pieces to fit. The role of the international community in this process has been and continues to be instrumental. The United Nations, the United States, and the European Union, among others, have all played crucial roles in mediating and facilitating negotiations. Yet, their efforts have been met with numerous challenges. One of the most significant issues has been the ongoing construction of Israeli settlements in the West Bank. These settlements are seen by many as a violation of international law and a major obstacle to peace. Another contentious issue is the status of Jerusalem, a city sacred to Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike. Both Israelis and Palestinians claim Jerusalem as their capital, a matter that has proven to be a major stumbling block in peace negotiations. Despite these challenges, the quest for a lasting peace continues. As we navigate through this complex history, it's essential to remember that behind the politics and the negotiations, there are real people whose lives are deeply affected by this enduring conflict. The hope for a peaceful resolution lives on, fueled by the resilience and determination of those on both sides of this historic divide. As we step into the 21st century, we find the Israel-Palestine conflict marked by new challenges and opportunities. The world has changed dramatically since the signing of the Oslo Accords, and these changes have inevitably influenced the course of the conflict. The advent of digital technology and social media, for example, has revolutionized the way information is disseminated and perceived. Today, ordinary people on both sides have a platform to share their stories and perspectives with the world, challenging traditional narratives and fostering empathy and understanding. However, these technological advances also come with their own set of challenges. The spread of misinformation and hate speech has the potential to fuel tensions and deepen divisions. The rise of new political powers and shifting global alliances have also reshaped the dynamics of the conflict. The Arab Spring, a series of anti-government protests, uprisings and armed rebellions that spread across the Middle East in the early 2010s, had significant implications for Israel and Palestine. On one hand, it led to a period of instability and uncertainty. On the other hand, it opened up new possibilities for dialogue and negotiation. The role of the younger generation in shaping the future of this conflict cannot be overstated. They are the ones who will inherit this legacy of conflict, and they are the ones who hold the keys to peace. Many young Israelis and Palestinians are actively involved in peace-building efforts, demonstrating courage and resilience in the face of adversity. As we move forward, it's crucial that we continue to engage in open and honest dialogue about this conflict, acknowledging its complexities and seeking solutions that uphold the dignity and rights of all involved. The road to peace may be long and fraught with challenges, but with persistence and determination, it is a journey that is worth undertaking. In the modern era, the Israel-Palestine conflict continues to affect millions. The current state of the conflict is a complex web of political, religious, and social issues, making it one of the most protracted and contentious disputes in modern history. One key player in the ongoing conflict is Hamas, a Palestinian political and military organization. Formed in the late 20th century, Hamas has played a significant role in shaping the narrative and the direction of the conflict. It is viewed by some as a legitimate resistance movement, while others classify it as a terrorist organization. This dichotomy adds another layer of complexity to an already intricate issue. The impact of this conflict is felt acutely by ordinary Israelis and Palestinians. For Israelis, there are constant security concerns. The fear of rocket attacks and suicide bombings has become a part of their daily life. On the Palestinian side, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza is a stark reality. The blockade, coupled with periodic bouts of violence, has resulted in a dire situation where basic necessities like food, water, and electricity are scarce. This conflict has not only taken a toll on the physical well-being of the residents, but also on their mental health. The constant state of fear and insecurity, the loss of loved ones, and the uncertainty of the future have left deep psychological scars on both sides. However, amidst the despair, there are stories of hope and resilience. Individuals and organizations on both sides are working tirelessly for peace, reaching out across the divide to foster understanding and empathy. They are the unsung heroes, the beacon of light in the midst of darkness. Understanding the history of this conflict is a crucial step towards fostering empathy and peace. It's a step towards acknowledging the pain and the struggle of the people involved. It's a step towards imagining a future where the cycle of violence can finally be broken and replaced with mutual respect and coexistence. Before we conclude this enlightening journey through the history of the Israel-Palestine conflict, we would like to invite you, our valued viewer, to join the dialogue. Here at Being Alive, we strive to bring you unbiased, in-depth explorations of world issues. Your support helps us to continue our mission of fostering understanding and empathy through education. If you found value in this video, we kindly ask that you show your support by clicking the like button. If you'd like to stay informed about future content, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to ensure you never miss an update. And finally, we believe that knowledge is most powerful when it's shared. So if you think this video could help others understand the complexities of the Israel-Palestine conflict, please share it with them. By doing so, you're not just supporting us, but also contributing to a broader, more informed dialogue about this important issue. Thank you for your time and for being a part of this conversation.